Loading his vehicle at the post office last December, York, Pennsylvania, Branch 509 member Lars Edleblute spotted a woman racing toward a highway while yelling. He noticed that she was running after a young boy. Lars called out to the boy, but the youngster continued to run, climbing over a fence and darting onto the highway with its 4 lanes of moving traffic. No cars slowed down or stopped to help in the pouring rain. So Lars ran up the hill, jumped over the fence from where he spotted the boy in the middle of the highway with traffic going in both directions. When Lars finally caught up to the boy, who we later learned was autistic, he put his arm around him and he reassured him that everything was going to be all right. The boy was soon handed over the fence and reunited with his panicked mother. So please join me in honoring Lars as our 2016 Eastern Region Hero. Lars?
I am not a hero. I'm a human being. I was just glad to be there for the family and for just the boy. It was a very rainy morning, and I was not expecting anything like this to happen, but I was glad to be there. The mother was screaming and crying. I could see it, and by the time the boy was over the fence, he was gone. Like, I couldn't see him anymore, so I just was like panicked and I just ran. And by the time I got to the top of the hill and the fence, the boy was already in the middle of the highway. And by all means, it was pouring down raining and I couldn't see in front of me, so I could only imagine what the boy was going through. And he was running, and by the time I got up over the fence and got over into the highway, he was already on the other side of the highway. He had ran to the other side of the highway. It was a 4-lane highway. It just turns into 60 miles an hour. I just took off running, got across to the middle, and he was almost off the exit by the time I got to the other side. And when I got to the other side, I realized that he had like a harness on, and I grabbed his harness and I just put my arm around him and I talked to him, and surprisingly he was not any kind of like scared. He was just like, I want to go to church. So I got him to the other side of the highway and I picked him up and I just lifted him over and I just went back to work. I was glad to be there, and it could have been bad. It could have ended really bad. And I'm glad the boy got across the highway the way he did, especially because he wasn't scared at all. He had no fear in him. He was just like dead set. He wanted to go to church, and that's where he wanted to go. So I was like, well, we can't go to church right now because we're both soaking wet, and I have to go back to work, and you have to go back to your mom, but I'll help you back over the highway so you don't get hurt. I was just glad to be there, and I always, now that I did that, I try to stay alert of my areas, just because if something happens again, I don't want to, you know, I want to be there to help them.
Good, Colleen? Okay. What? great to get Hero's autograph in my own book. Because I'm going to try and contact everybody. I've got something that I want to send everybody. Yeah, there's something in here. Thank you. Spontaneous. No,